Hi, this is Harish here. Welcome to DB2 LEW Tips and Tricks video tutorial part 131. In this tutorial, the tip that I wanted to provide you is there is a microscopic mistake in HWM, high watermark. This is just, the title is just to attract viewers, okay. Let's see what it is in detail. The scripts that I'm using are available for free download. The data files are available at db2lewacademy.blogspot.in. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/db2lewacademy. Email ID is db2academy@gmail.com. This slide talks about the tips. This is not going to be a problem, scenario, and solution kind of the regular slides, usual slides. This is going to be tips, and the topics that we'll be mostly talking about is the high watermark and the table sizes. These are certain observations that I've made, and I just wanted to share. So there's no hard and fast rule here. So first thing, the table space needs at least 4 extents of space. Like you can't create a table space with less than 4 extents. So the extents is like just like a collection of pages. So if your extent is say for 32 pages, then 32 into 4, 32 into 4 is like 128. So you need at least 128 pages. You need to allocate that many pages. Otherwise you can't even create a table space. So I think the knowledge center says 5. I remember it was 5 extents, but then I'm not sure. With versions and other things, it could have been changed. But I would say I just did a test case. I'm going to show you in the example. Minimum 4 extents, I'm able to create a table space, and the table creation itself needs 2 extents, and in which like one will be the extent map page. So one minimum EMP page is EMP page means it's like extent map page, but it is actually one extent of pages. So it will be like if your extent is 32, it will be 32 pages. So one extent is gone for the so even without data, I'm saying, so just you create a table, you need 2 extents. So if you are default, like if you're going with the default 32 page extents size, then you need 64 pages free, without which you can't even create a table. So I'm going to show you that. And the table grows 1 extent at a time. So as we add more records, so since there are 2 extents, so there is one more extent that is available, so that 1 extent will be filled, and after that, when there is a space that is needed, the table grows, right, within the table space. So it will try to grab 1 extent, and obviously less than 1 extent also it can grab based on the space availability, but the default is to grab at least 1 extent. So which 1 extent will be like 24 pages or 16 pages, or even 2 pages can be 1 extent. So that's up to you. Okay, and so how do I say that is like you can easily with the simple like db2 list table spaces show detail command that will show you the high watermark, and you can see that the high watermark is jumping in units of extent size. So we can just take that as a corroborative thing for this table growing 1 extent. And the next thing is the table size. So if you want to calculate the table size, and you do the run stats and all that, so from that you can get the n pages or f pages. And one way of calculating the table size is the number of pages into the page size, but you will be ending up with a very with a less number when you calculate the table size this way when compared to ADMINTABINFO. Like for example, there is a routine ADMINTABINFO. It's not a routine. It's a system view or the admin view. So the admin view, ADMINTABINFO, is going to report something called as the space for a table. All the data is going to be there in the pages, but plus there is going to be extent map pages. So minimum it will be 1, but as the table grows, right? So there might be more than 1 extent map might be available. So which is like more than 64 pages, like 32 pages being 1 extent. It could be 64, it could be multiples of the extents, right? Based on the volume of data. So that is the extent map page. So it includes the extent map page and the table reserved pages. So since our table is growing 1 extent at a time, you're going to have certain table reserved pages because you might not be filling in the complete extent. See, you can run a sequence of insert queries, and when the table grows, it will grow 32 pages at a time, but you're filling in only like 10 pages. So rest of the 22 pages are still the reserved pages for that table. So which is not getting reported because that will not contain any data. So it will not come under the N pages or F pages, because N pages and F pages are more tuned for the purpose they serve is for more like statistical purposes and to determine when to do the rearg, how much the table is filled, non-filled, empty, pseudo-empty. So it helps in those kind of calculations. So the way you calculate the table size when you use the N pages formula and when you use the ADMINTABINFO view, they are going to be drastically different. The difference being the EMP pages and the table reserved pages are taken into consideration by the ADMINTABINFO. And the last important thing, the last filled data page like is lesser than HWM. So see, what typically we say is HWM is high watermark points to a page wherein you have that table growing, and that's the point till the data is filled, like the water level, right? So that's what they call as high water mark. But the last filled data page is actually microscopically, if you look into the page, it's going to be lesser, okay, than the HWM, because HWM includes the EMP and reserved pages, which are basically empty pages. So these are the things that I wanted to share, and I'm going to show you these things with examples. Okay, so all these bullet points, whatever we have described here, example is going to be is going to get followed here. Okay, so you just need to, very simple database. You just create any default database, connect to trunk, create a buffer pool. I'm using Buffy buffer pool, page size 8K. So I'm going to do, instead of going with default values, I'm trying to change something here. Okay, so I'm going with a page size of 8K, and I'm going to drop the table vampire and drop the table space den. And it's not there, so that I can just start from a clean slate. And the first thing that I'm going to show you is I'm creating a table space den, page size 8K, extend size 24, max size 760K, which is like less than 3 extends or 4 extends probably. Okay, so I can't even create this table space because it's so less. You can do that calculation like 760K and the extent is 24 size into 8K. If you look at that, it's not like 4 extends. Okay, so the next thing is I'm increasing this to 768K. So create table space den, page size 8K, extend size 24, max size 768K. So now this is going to allow me to create the table space. But look at what happens in the list table spaces show detail. 0 free pages. So high watermark is at 72 and it's like 0. There's nothing in there. So there are no free pages. So if I go and try to create a table, it's not going to allow me because obviously there's no pages, right? So nothing is going to happen. So the next thing is table requires at least 2 extends. So I'm going to show you that. So drop the table space, create the table, and this time I'm using like 960. I'm giving some more additional space. Okay, and list table spaces show detail, and okay, let's just do that. So you can see that the free pages is 24. So we have created the table. We have created the table and the table space, I guess. Okay, let me check. We have created the table space. Okay, we have just created the table space. So we just created the table space, and we are seeing that there are 24 free pages available. So with 24 free pages, can I create the table? That's the question. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It requires at least 2 extents. That's what this test case is about. So I'm going to drop the table space. I'm going to create it again. And this time I'm just increasing the max size to 1152K. And again, I'm going to show you the list table space show detail. Okay, you can see now there are 48 pages. So 24 extent size, so which means 2 extents I have, right? So with 1 extent I was not able to create even the table. So now I should be able to create the table. It's very simple. So I just do that. Done. See, and after that I'll show you the list table spaces show detail. So after creation of table, see there were 48 pages. All these 48 pages will be gone. It's like 2 extents it got reserved. See. So I can add probably 1 extent of data into this, and 1 extent will go for the extent map page. That's the maximum, because we have given the max size that way. Okay, so otherwise it will grow. Okay, Now the next thing that I wanted to show you is the table grows by one extent at a time. Okay, so for that I'm dropping the table space. I'm creating the table space with max size 2048K. So I'm just adding more things. And sorry, the thing that you should observe is as I add more data, so I create the same thing. So I create the table and I'm going to just run 16 rows.sql. It is just going to insert some data into those table, the vampire table. If you look at the table that we are creating, it's the vampire table which has the ID and the name. And as I add data, you'll find that the high water mark is jumping in units of extent size, right? So that's what I'm going to show you. So let's create, okay, let's drop the table space and let's create again. Okay, so you got free pages 144 and your high water mark is at 72. So you will find that 72, it will become 96. Then it is going to become 120, then it's going to become 144. As I add data, you will find the high water mark is jumping by one extent at a time. So that's what I'm going to show you. So let me create the table vampire, and after that I'll give the list table spaces show detail. So from 70, what was that? From 72, right? High water mark page was 72, but when I create the table, it will block two extents. So the jump should be 72 plus 48. So 72 plus 48 is going to be, so 72 plus 48 is going to be 120 exactly. So after that, we'll add some data to that, and again I'll list the table spaces show detail. It still stays at 120 because one extent of data it can still hold, so there is no requirement, there is no need to grow. Add some more, it still didn't fill up, right? So when it fills up, right, you will see that it's growing. See, from 120 it became 144, and you can repeat this test case, you will find that it is jumping by one extent at a time. Okay, and okay, next thing I'll do is again I'm just adding more data. So now 144, right? Then also still 144 because it's not filling up, right? So it's not filling the full extent. So there is no necessity to grow. And obviously the growing, like when it grows, it's not like one extent is mandatory. It's based on space availability, because if the table space itself is having only like 20 pages and the extent size is 24, it's going to grab that complete 20 pages, right? That's the thing. So that is one thing. And after that, I'm going to show you how the admin tab info and NPAGES into page size, how they differ. Okay, so for that I'm going to run the run stats, and I'm going to run this query. So mon get table and sysadmin tab info. See, it says 33 pages, right? So if you look at the mon get table, or even the other one, like you can run the other command. Okay, copy that, paste that. So you can see it is 33 pages. So it's taking up 33 pages, and this is also 33 pages as reported by the mon get table. And you can also see the admin tab info is reporting 576 kilobytes. And if you try to calculate, so here is a calculation. So 33 pages into 8K will be like 264K, right? Whereas the admin tab info is reporting 576K. So 576K by 8K is like 72 pages. So where are my 40 pages? So that is the question. That is a big question, right? Where are my 40 pages? So how do I do that? How do I check that, right? So for that, what I'm going to do is run this db2 dot utility, and dot utility. So obviously I need to do connect reset before that. So this is the point where I am going to discuss about the microscopic mismatch. Okay. Okay. So this is the dot utility trunk database, dump the data pages for the table vampire for the table space ID 5, and page start, like start with page number 0. Number of pages 0 means it's maximum, whatever is there it's going to dump, and no verbose output, and the report will be generated and it will be put in the vampire pages.rpt file. So if you look at this command, you just run that, it will create a, okay, it should create a, where is my downloads, yeah, vampire pages, and you will find that here, see here from 96 it starts, the data, this particular table, object 4, and I think it is vampire table, which is in table space ID 5, starts from the object, the page number 96, and it goes up to, oops, sorry, it goes up to, okay, you can see that it goes up to 128. So you can see that from 96 to 128 is 33 pages. So this is what is getting reported. So because these are the pages in which the data is there, right? So which means the data is only there up to 128, right? But look at my high water mark. The high water mark number is at 144, right? So if you can see this output again, I don't know now whether you will be able to see that. Okay, it's not there. But the high water mark page is at 144. Okay, we saw that actually. You can just rewind the video, you can see. So why the high water mark? So if the data is only up to 128, so what happened to the rest of the pages? Like there is about 16 pages that we are off here. So that is what I am telling. The microscopic high water mark is at 128 page number, whereas the reported high water mark is at 144. So in order to understand that what happened, so you need to look into this db2.utility trunk database. You can run the .utility again, trunk database, dump the EMP pages. The table name is vampire, TSI, the table space ID is 5, and again I'm going to take this this report file. Okay, so I'm going to run that. Let me just show you that and hit that. Okay, it's done. Okay, I'm not able to pause the recording, I don't know how. Okay, but any case, so that's done. So the vampire EMAP pages are there, and you can look at this here. So this is the extent map page. See from here 72 to 95, right? So that is what is happening here. So 72 to 95 is the EMP page, and we have only one extent map page, which is like 24 pages, one extent size, right? So that is still used for that table, but it won't get reported in the N pages, because N pages or F pages only talks about the table data. So this is not included in that, whereas the ADMINTABINFO is trying to include that. So 24 pages plus 33 pages in which the data is already there. The page numbers are 96 to 128, and from 129 to 144 you can look at the high water mark is reported at 144. So I can just show you that again. Connect to trunk database, and you can see that. Okay, db2 list table spaces show detail. You can see that the high water mark page for the den table space is at 144. So which means 129 to 144 is the table reserved pages, which is 16 page. So when you total 24 plus 33 plus 16, it's going to be 73. I mean it's like I'm still off by one page, but that I think that's kind of okay. We are not doing some rocket science calculation here. So okay, so that is the thing. So high water mark, microscopic high water mark is at 128, whereas the reported high water mark is at 144. The difference is because of the table reserved pages. The table grows by one extent at a time, grabbing one extent of pages, but it might not fill in, the data might not fill in all that complete extent. So so that's why this discrepancy. So that's why the ADMINTABINFO and NPAGES calculations differ. Okay, and you might have, as you add more data, you will be having more number of EMP pages. So so you will be drastically differing in terms of the calculation when you look at the ADMINTABINFO and the NPAGE as the table size grows bigger. So hope this information was useful to you. See you in the next video tutorial. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.